All right, yo, what's going on? We're gonna get started a little bit early today. It's 2:59 here in Guttenberg, Iowa. Hope you guys are doing well. It is Tuesday, June 16th, 2020. How is everybody today? I'm having a good day. It has been pretty relaxing for me, and just a good day. I'm a little bit tired though. I did 2 workouts in a row. I normally don't do that, but I thought for a couple of reasons that I give it a shot. Well, I guess 2 reasons. One is because I wanted to compare these two shoes, and I wanted to make sure that I did them in a time frame that was conducive to putting out videos for this week. And so I ended up needing to do them 2 days in a row. That was not the best idea. I'm pretty tired. The second day's workout was not so great a workout, but it achieved the right purpose in terms of me being able to test the shoes head to head on the same course in close proximity to each other temporally. And then the other reason was, the idea of cumulative fatigue and just loading up the legs. By the end of today's workout, I definitely was feeling kind of like that glycogen depletion feeling, that feeling in your legs when you feel like you're just dead. And so, not that it's good to get to that point because it means that tomorrow's run is going to have to be really easy. But it also got me to the some mental aspects of this is what I'm feeling. This is all natural. Normal stuff. It's not like signs that I'm blowing up, that I'm about to get hurt or whatever. So just acclimating myself to kind of that feeling. So that's what last 2 days were. But because of that, I'm super tired, and I have definitely let the kids have a lot of screen time today. I mean, to be honest, I've been letting them have a lot of screen time a lot of days, but even more so today. But how are you guys doing? We've got Jay McRemy here. Martha's here from Colorado. Motivation Theory Running's here. He says he's got some a bit tired legs as well. Bert Leguess is here. Cool. He did the Nike Runner Stability Workout on the Nike Run Club app and only fell over 7 times. That's about how many times I think I fell over when doing a similar workout to that one. Kay Smithley's here and asks, when is the Rincon 2 going on sale? I think August is that right? August or July? Not anytime soon, I don't think. I think not till July. Try Boy Try is here from Austin, where it's in the mid 90s. Oh, look at that, was weird. That sounds super hot. Lewis Cameron's here. Kevin Summerall saying the Endorphin Speed is already on Roadrunner Sports. I did see it, but it's only available for pre-order, and I did pre-order it. But it's available. It won't ship till July 7th or July 17th. I can't remember which one. But yes, I saw it on there and I did pick it up. Even though I know there is a black version coming. Martha had messaged me something, emailed me something where there is going to be a black version coming out. But I'm thinking I might regret it. But I'd rather have it sooner than later. So I did pre-order the white version. Let's see. TJM Runs is here, coming in from Massachusetts. Awesome. J. Mike Remy says, when you got 2 workouts in a row, the 2 in shorts help with that kind of workload. They very well may, but I wore half tights both of the days. You guys got that video to 500 super fast. I thought it would take a week. I thought I might need to give it a little push at the end as well. But you guys got it to over 600 in 12 hours. So I'm amazed. I'm amazed. Some people were like, well, you didn't give it a very high number, so it must mean you kind of wanted to. I mean, I do kind of want to run that time trial. And I do want to use the shorts, and I do want to wear the 2-inch shorts. But I also was like, I don't know, the Wave Rider, I don't know how popular a video that's going to be because that shoe's been out for a while, and I want to have it to an attainable, something where I could be like, oh guys, we're only 50 away, we're close, So I thought that 500 would be a reasonable number, but it was not. I should have said it much higher. Steve Ehrenberg says Andy's first impression of the Hyperion Tempo was overall just brilliant. Agreed. It is a good shoe. And I saw today, I don't know if you guys saw it, Believe in the Run was it on their Instagram feed today? That Brooks just dropped a trail shoe that has DNA flash foam in it. I don't even know what it's called. It comes out in August. I think August 2nd is the release date for it. But yeah, so there is a Brooks trail shoe coming out with DNA flash in it. And I am super excited for that because I was super excited for the, what is it from Skechers has Hyperburst in a trail shoe. And I think the shoe is just stunningly beautiful. I love that shoe. But I'm like, I think it's like not the right shoe for me though. I don't think I can wear it. It seems like a trail racing shoe. And I'm like, I'm not a trail racer. I want like a trail trainer that has hyperburst in it. Something like a Terra Kyger. And I think that Brooks is going to be like that. So I'm very excited for that one. So let's see. Gavin Braden's giving me some backup on the parenting front. Says, don't worry, Kofuzi. I've pretty much signed over full parental control of my twin girls to the iPad. Yeah, it just does such a good job. I mean, there's been times like literally where my wife and I have like said to our girls, like, because they'll, especially back when we were in Chicago and we were like just sitting on top of each other and getting real like antsy. We were just like, can you please just watch iPad, or can you just please watch the rest of this Paw Patrol? Like I was like, that's the weirdest parenting sentence, but I was like begging them to watch content. But like, you know, we had let them watch so much that they were like, I'm bored. And then they would pick on each other. Usually, and it's just, isn't it usually the case? The younger sibling was picking on the older one. And I just feel like the older one is very like trained to like not retaliate. And the younger one just gets trained to poke the bear a lot. And so that's definitely what was happening. Let's see. What else we got? Oh, today's Trivia Tuesday. So before I forget, I will get us started off with Trivia Tuesday, and then I'll get to some more comments. So the theme for today is, what does it mean for Trivia Tuesday? And today I think is going to be a lot more fun than famous Iowa running, because it'll be more relatable to a lot of people. And so for the theme of what does it mean, I'm going to take brands that you are aware of, and I think a lot of these are going to be pretty easy. But because I should have dug deeper into it. I should have done like, what does Bondi come from? Because I only learned that in the last couple of months. Although I felt like everybody knew except me. So some of these are going to be pretty obvious, but I think some of them are going to be a little bit trickier. So we'll see where it goes. So related to the Bondi question, is the first one for today's Trivia Tuesday is Hoka One One. What does that mean? I think a lot of you are going to know that, but I also think that I love like how Hoka went from like Hoka 1-1 to Hoka One to just Hoka for a little while. I remember when I first started running in Hoka shoes, I would never say the second two words because I was like, I remember Sage like commented, not commented, but like talked about it in a video. He was like, there was a point where the official way to pronounce it was 1-1, and then they changed to say the official way to say it was One. And so I just think that it's so funny that they've done that. But all right, JC says, hey everybody, time to lose at trivia. I don't know if that's like a, here I am, time to lose at trivia, or time to lose at trivia. I'm here, I'll try. But I like it, either reading I like. I think it's funny. All right, Kay Smithley says, finally made the live stream. Glad to have you here. Awesome. And his Dunbar's here too, Stevie76. Awesome. Checking in for his CLE credit today. Let's see. Let's scroll down and see what answers we got. Kay Smithley says Bondi is from some surf spot. Yeah, it's that place in Australia, which I think became more recently known because it was a beach that reopened early on from like COVID lockdown. And so the Bondi beach was very heavily in the U.S. news for like 2 days. But anyway, let's see. Yeah, the internet changed the One on me and was like, what? Motivation theory running, saying. That's so funny. Hoka One means to fly, which makes sense because their motto is time to fly, says Kai Smithley. That is correct. That is correct. Let's see. We got Martha coming in saying, I always thought people were just mispronouncing One until it became known. Does it have something to do with New Zealand? I remembered it as something about flying, said Mr. Germson. Kai Smithley says, it's New Zealand Maori. That is correct. That's the full answer that I was looking for from Kai Smithley. It's from the Maori language. It says fly over the earth, at least according to the Hoka One or 1-1. I don't speak Maori, so I can't comment. And I don't know. I'm going to go with Hoka One because at some point, I forget who made it, but I don't know if you guys, I think this group is about the same age as me. And so you guys probably remember the Tony album. It was like a dark colored album, and it had like lots of really brilliant, strong font. And it's like pronounced like Tony, like the 3 different ways that they spelled it. But they had taken that motif and turned it into a Hoka and used like the Hoka blue and yellow and make it Hoka One. I just thought that was brilliant. So ever since then, I'm like, I'm never going to call it 1-1. I don't think I ever called it 1-1. When they were calling it 1-1, I just called it Hoka because I was like, that doesn't seem right. I thought it was Hawaiian for the longest time. I think maybe because of the colors. But yeah, so I thought that was pretty funny. But since I saw that like mock album that someone had graphic design like mocked up with Hoka One, I'm only going to call it Hoka One, even if they change back. Which, like, can you imagine if they did? What if like in 2021 we're like 10.9 version 2, Clifton Edge version 2, and also we're Hoka 1.1 now? Please. That would be an amazing 2021 from Hoka, wouldn't it? Yeah. Jonas Heck says, what shoes would you currently recommend for speed workouts and intervals? Thought about the Hoka Carbon X, Asics Meta Racer, or Nike Zoom Fly 3. I think it depends on what your speed workouts are and what your intervals are. So when I think about like speed workouts, I'm thinking about longer like intervals. When people say intervals, I'm thinking like stuff that's on the track, like 800s, 400s, 200s, like shorter stuff. And so for that shorter stuff, I think the Meta Racer would be a great choice. It might be like overkill because I think there's a lot of shoes that could be great choices for that kind of workout. Like we were talking about the Hyperion Tempo. I actually think that could be good for both of those because it's such a lightweight shoe. The Carbon X I would enjoy for speed workouts, like longer stuff, like with the stuff that I've been doing lately, which is like mile on, mile off, or lately I've been like 2 miles on, so I've been doing like 4 times 2 mile repeats with a mile rest in between. So really super, super long rests. I think something like the Carbon X is a great choice for that. Like the total workout was 15 miles. So like, I think those are good options. The Zoom Fly 3, I would like for probably speed workouts, but not so much like shorter intervals. So those are some options that are in there. I think other options that would be really interesting would be, I think the Kinvaro would be a good choice for the shorter stuff. Let's see, what else have I been running in lately that I've been enjoying for some of that speedier work? I'm like looking around here. The SL20. I definitely like for speed workouts, but it's light enough that you could take it for your interval days as well from Adidas. So those are some options for you too. KNM5 says, I've had my Vivo Active 3 now for a while. Been thinking about getting a Suunto watch. I know you had both. Does the Suunto have any supreme over the Garmin Vivo 3? Here's the thing about Suunto. I like Suunto watches. I like them a lot, but the screens are too dim for me. Maybe I'm getting old and I just can't see it. But like, I just felt like no matter how, there was 2 brightness settings, like bright and dim or low. I forget what they called it. But the brighter setting was just still like, it looked like what most other watches look like when they're in power save mode, right? I just couldn't get it bright enough. So I didn't like that about it. I felt like bang per buck, it seemed a little bit expensive. So if I could get a Suunto on sale, I would like that. The thing that it has as a benefit over the Vivo Active 3 is buttons. I like physical buttons on an activity watch. I don't like messing around with a touch screen. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to have to remember like, okay, sometimes I have to double press a button or long press or whatever. I just like to have like buttons on stuff. That's my personal preference. All right, Mark Jankokos here says, hey, sorry I'm late. Good to have you. You missed the first question, but that's all right. It was a warm-up question. Hoka One, what does it mean? It means time to fly or fly over the earth. Because time to fly is their motto or their slogan, fly over the earth, in the Maori language from New Zealand, which I didn't know was from Maori are in New Zealand. So that's new to me. Ines Dunbar says, we've been doing similar mileage this week. I'm hoping to get some miles in this week to try and finish my 1,000-mile challenge. Let's see how many days I can do 15 miles a day of doubles. That's a lot. That's a lot of miles a day. I did 15 miles today and yesterday, and tomorrow is definitely not going to be a 15-mile day for me. But I think we had the exact same mileage last week. We had like 80. We were both at 83 and something. Let's see. Bert Legas says, Hoka Ole for the South American market. Derek Dixon says, Kofuzi, do you plan on running the Monumental Marathon this November? I'm not planning on it, but I think that I was on the Chicago Marathon website today, just rummaging around, and they had posted something that made it sound like they're going to make an announcement soon. And I suppose if it cancels, I will then try and sign up for a couple of other races that might go, just to get a bib. Whether I do go or not will, of course, depend on what happens by November. But I'm not currently signed up for it. But I suspect that the moment Chicago cancels, you better get your money. So I might just sign up for it now, and consider the money. If I can, if I get to do both, then I'll do both. And the Indy Marathon, I've done Chicago and Indy in the same year before, so I think I could do it. I just won't race one of the two. Maybe I'll take Chicago as kind of a celebration of running resuming, and then the Indy Monumental Marathon as the race that I race. But that's the best case scenario. J. Mike Remy says, tagged you on a post inspired by yesterday's topics. Okay, cool. Awesome. I'll have to check that out. Kai Smithley says, the New Balance Tempo is supposed to be really good for speed workouts. I ran in the Tempos and they're good. They just didn't wow me. They're good shoes. I don't know if they're they don't pop to my mind as shoes that I recommend right off the bat. I don't not recommend them, but they don't jump out at me. That was the thing. And I'm wondering if it's just didn't give it enough time. So I'm kind of worried about that. All right. Let's see. All right. Let's go to question number 2 while we're here. All right. Question number 2. Another company with a name in another language. You probably got, if you guys have, you guys have been watching the channel, so you guys probably know Janji. So the company that's out of Boston right now, they donate a lot of their proceeds to water projects around the world. What does Janji mean? Janji, not Janji. Janji. What does it mean? Shannon Sai says, Monumental is a great course. Get your 22 BQ. Yeah, I think that I may, that could be one that if it goes, that I might end up, really trying to race that one and seeing what I can do. The temperatures are usually good for it. They're usually on a little bit of the chilly side, which I think works out for me. I like running in cold rather than hot, so we'll see. Super Schmaltz says, enjoyed the Mizuno review. Awesome. I've been running in the 23 since end of February, beginning of March. Don't remember. Cool. Very cool. Yeah, I think that I need to break it in more. And a couple of other people have kind of reaffirmed me in that notion. They're give it 3 runs and then it'll agree with you more. And someone else was like, it looks like you're heel striking when you run in that shoe, and are you sure it's going to work out for you? And I was thinking, I think it wants me to heel strike in that shoe. So we'll figure it out. There's enough there that I think that it's worth trying more. I don't want to. My gut is to group it with the Brooks Ghost because it's also 12 millimeter shoe. Also felt a little bit clunky in the heel, but the Ghost felt a little bit clunkier. The Mizuno I think can work for me. We'll see. Let's see, Janji. A lot of guesses. Some, let's see. Kai Smithley says Janji is Kenyan. Say that in Runner's World. I don't think so. Brett Reed has the first correct answer. With it means promise. Mark Chankoko says sounds Asian. And TV76 says Jumanji. Close. Frank Lahulier looked it up. I appreciate that you're not putting in the answer that you found. Yeah. And let's see. Shannon says, not sure where heard founder on a podcast means something about all nations. The information that I have is that it does mean promise. Who is that? Was it Brett that had the right answer? And it means promise in Malay. So that's the information that I have. So we'll go with that. Ines Dunbar also Googled it. I appreciate the honor system that we have going on in here. I don't know what's going on with my hat. There's a weird shadow going on here. I think I need to move a little bit. I look funny every time I look over. I'm over here, my like view that I could see. Every time I look over, there's a weird shadow. I don't have all my lights today. Let's see. Yeah, Frank Lahulia said it is Malay. Awesome. Cool. What else we got here? Daniel M says, I found a John G running singlet on sale at REI for $16. That's pretty cool. That's a great price. Derek Dixon says, I thought Kafuzi Radio Hour was going to be here DJing for an hour. We know you like good music. Now share it with the masses. Thoughts, Kafuzi and Company? That's an interesting idea. Have like a different Kafuzi radio. Just be like, can I do that? I don't know if I could do that. Because I use Epidemic Sound, right? And so it lets me license music to use with like a music video, but that's interesting. I'll look into that. I mean, I did that kind of I did a 360 video, like a treadmill run, like where I just ran along the lakefront for an hour with a 360 camera, and I set it to just kind of not random music, but I picked like 12 songs or whatever, and I put it like back to back to back to back in there. I wonder if like how that would work if I just picked like 12 of their songs. That's interesting. Yeah. Martha says, honor system, no wankers. Well, that's right. Yeah. Kai Smithy says, can we get a Kafuzi music review or show us your playlist? I have a Kafuzi Run Club playlist. They're different. There's one on Apple Music and there's one on Spotify. I think I need to update the Spotify one. I just haven't been listening to Spotify. I've been listening to Apple Music because I subscribed to that. So I pay for that. I don't pay for Spotify. And so with Apple Music, I can fast forward songs and pick whatever I want. So I've been kind of leaning towards that. But my music tastes don't change that quickly. I like what I like, but I'm not that like particular. Like I'm not the kind of person that's like, oh yeah, like the progression of like that second album really reflects, like I'm not like a music historian. I don't know how to really appreciate it on that level. So that might be disappointing for some people. Let's see. Patrick Fung says, not sure if you're aware, but the Mizuno video has over 900 views now. That's a lot of views. Yeah, I posted something about it in the Run Club as well with a screenshot of me like holding up the shorts. So, but July 3rd, I'll do the run. And then July 4th, I will post the video so that it matches with what it would have been. It's that singlet and those shorts are for the Peachtree race, which would have been July 4th. So I'll make it for the same day. All right. Lewis Cameron's heading out to PT. So see you guys tomorrow. All right. Let's get to question 3 while we're at it, though. All right. And then I'll get to Ted and Ruth's question after that. So the next one I'm going to talk about is Nuun. So Nuun is like the little tablets that you could drop into your drink. I'm actually drinking some Nuun now. They're not sponsored. They've never sponsored me for anything. I would love it if they would sponsor a video because I do drink Nuun just about every day. I have probably about one a day. That's probably the average, at least one a day. Just because I feel like it's a nice way to get a little bit of extra electrolyte, salt, potassium in there, not too much extra. There's no extra sugar in it. So like for during a run, I like drinks with lots of sugar. When it's not during a run, I don't want sugar in the drink. And so I like Nuun. But what does it mean? All right. And then, let's see, it was Ted and Ruth's question. Are you going to keep going with the live streams after lockdown, e.g. once a week? Something, I mean, I still haven't figured that out yet. I don't know what it'll be, but it'll be something. Because I just think we got such a great thing going here. The atmosphere is great. There's no wankers. Like a very happy corner of the internet. And so I like it here. I think you guys like it here. So I want to keep it going. I don't know what that ends up looking like. And I'll definitely ask you guys for your feedback when it comes to that. But I mean, who knows when that'll be. But, you know, I'm already starting to kind of like think about ways we can do it. Does it turn into like an evening show? I know that becomes pretty hard for a lot of people. You know, because like, we've got like these little mini skits already. Because I'm trying to like, I'm watching like late night TV with like a different kind of like approach to it now. Cause like before I was, I would watch Jimmy Kimmel. I would watch, when I was younger, I watched Letterman. And I didn't really ever watch Leno, but I would watch talk show hosts because it's a great way to learn how to like interview people or to talk to people. And so like I was always very much interested in the conversation. So I would watch it like in that regard. But now I'm looking at it, especially since they're all doing it from home, like in their basements, more or less. So I'm like watching, like, what are they doing? What are they talking about every single night, and still making a compelling and interesting show? And so like I'm copying ideas. But we've got our skits here, not skits, but like our segments, we got Trivia Tuesday, we've got Mukbang Monday, like I think that if it was once a week and I tried to cram all those things into one, that might be too many, but we'll think of something. We'll figure it out. All right. So Nuun. What do we got? His number says, sorry, it's Nuun. That's funny. Mark Rainey says, how is it spelled? How is Nuun spelled? N-U-U-N. Yeah, Recycle on Wednesdays. Got it. All right. Something with chemistry? No, not something with chemistry. And Mark Shane Coco says, is Nuun better than the Key Nutrients brand? I'm not familiar with that. I'll have to look at that. I enjoy a lot of the sports drinks just because I think it's a very interesting like category. But I've not heard of Key Nutrients. I once tested a brand. I didn't test. I drank it. I got samples of it because I went to like a shoe launch event at my local Fleet Feet, and it was like a run, and then you came back to the store, and they had some snacks and some beers and some of this sport drink, and it was a drink called Cray, not Cray Cray, but Cray, like Kra with the long bar on top, and it was basically like organic sports drink. And I'm like, so you mean juice? Like I didn't understand, and like I just like the guy tried to explain it to me like 4 different ways, and I'm like, why wouldn't I just have juice then? I don't know. I just got lost on it. Yeah, but that was a weird one. But let's see. Roadrunner Reviews is suggesting maybe a Sunday special for like what the next incarnation of these live streams looks like. Maybe. Let's see. Ed Chan says it's actually spelled Unu. You've been holding it upside down. Yeah, I think that's the funny joke that they like to say. Like Nuun like sponsors some of like the local running groups tents when they like a lot of the local running groups or the I think it's Fleet Feet that will have tents and give out free water and beverages to people running along the lakefront path. And Nuun is one that's there. And I don't know if it's Nuun people or if it's Fleet Feet people that are manning that, but there's always someone that says, it's Unu, you're just looking at it upside down. Because the way it is, it's like the N and the U's are identical, just flipped. So, yeah. All right. Shannon says, I don't know the answer to Nuun question, but very interested to hear the answer. It's the only product I hate to drink but enjoy while running. That's interesting. All right. So, yes, Arnold Alanis came up with the answer. I don't know if you Googled it or not. It's honor system here, so I'm sure you didn't. But nutrition uncompromised is what they say on their website is what Nuun actually means. Some people have said that Nuun means salt in Sanskrit, or at least that's what people have told Nuun. But that's not true. It's just for nutrition uncompromised. Yeah, and then with Shannon, like for me and my buddy, the first time we tried Nuun, we were like, this is disgusting. What is this? We used to call ourselves Never Nuuns because we just hated it so much, and we were convinced that Nuun basically has the exact same composition of like if you collected sweat in a jar, like it would taste like Nuun. That's what we used to say about it. So I used to just absolutely hate it. At some point, it flipped for me though, and I just started like liking the flavor. So like now I like it. It took me a long time to turn around on it though. I think just the convenience of it, just drop it in. There's no powder. It doesn't spill. Like a lot of the powders, when you open it, like the motion, like when it opens, like it snaps a little bit. all the powders. And so like it aerosolizes and it gets everywhere. You don't get that when you just drop it in and you got a drink. So I like it. And it's like effervescent. It like bubbles a little bit. So I like it. I don't know. Ines says, I found the Nuun ones to be the best. No artificial sweetener taste of others. Yeah, I like it. All right. Martha says, sorry, got a phone call I couldn't ignore, but the illusion was Strava wankers, which were discussed here before. There's that entire website dedicated to dishonest segments. Yeah, it's one of my favorite Twitter accounts right now. I mean, it comes and goes, but like Strava wankers is pretty funny. Because of like the vehemence, like the amount of like, it's not even schadenfreude, it's just pleasure. It's not even like guilty pleasure. It's just the pleasure that people take in pointing out the Strava wankers is to me as interesting as the Strava wankers themselves. Like I kind of understand like the Strava wankers. It's just like, you're doing something with a GPS watch that's timed. Like, I don't know, who do you think you were going to trick and for how long? But then the people that are like, that really wasn't a 5K PR. Like, it's amazing. It's just like a fascinating look into like the human psyche, but I love it. All right, let's see what else we got in here. Sweat. Shannon says sweat in a jar. Yeah, it's an acquired taste, just like people who don't drink their coffee black. Yeah, I drink my coffee black, but it's because like I got lazy. And for me, I started drinking coffee black because I go to diners in New Jersey growing up. I didn't drink coffee at diners growing up, but like when I got old enough to the point where I was drinking coffee at the diner, you know, they always refill it really quickly. And so if you have to have your coffee like a certain ratio of like coffee to creamer or milk and sugar, and that thing keeps getting filled up, you're constantly tinkering with the coffee. And it just drove me insane. So I was like, I'm going to learn to drink it black. And now I don't like to put anything in the coffee. Sometimes a packet of sugar. That's about it. All right, Luis Becerra says, not only pizza rats and now never Nuuns. I think like I've been thinking about it. We've been collecting here like a almost like a Fab Five of characters that have developed in these live streams, because we've got Jabba the Rat, or like the pizza rat, and then we have like we got the dragon that Greg and I put together, that Greg designed for me, Greg Itahara. And then we have Never Nuuns, which I think the Never Nuun is definitely going to be, you know, a guy in denim shorts. A blue man in denim shorts is what the Never Nuun is going to look like. And then, but I also think that we have to add those crazy birds that have been chasing me. The red-winged blackbird, or I forget what they're called. But there's yellow ones around here too. They're smaller, but those blackbirds. So I feel like there's like a cast of characters that's developing here. Shannon says, I feel like Mitch Hedberg could make a joke about Nuun and the sweat comparison. There's something there. There's definitely something there. Yeah, Cody Davis says, people have too much time. They have too much time on their hands to dissect Strava segments. I know, but I think that's what makes Strava wankers great, is because someone that does have too much time is doing the legwork for the rest of us, and also finding these people too. Because like I'm not friends with a lot of those, you know, the people that are on Strava wankers. So, or I guess the targets of the Strava wankers. So it's like, or who are the Strava wankers anyway. But I'm glad that someone's doing the work. It's Bert Lagas says, why don't we do a Wanker Wednesday with the Kofuzi Run Club? Once a week, we mock the wankers by doing it ourselves. Yeah, no, I don't know. That's going to get demonetized, I think. Just from the name of it. That's funny. Motivation Theory Running says, I've never understood why people care about what others do on Strava with regards to PRs. Yeah, that's kind of my theory too. Like if you want to call that your 5K PR or your 5K PB, that's great. I'm personally of the opinion that unless there was a chip time, it doesn't count. Maybe that's a little bit more like an extreme of a position than most people, but it solves a lot of those problems. So that's kind of how I feel about it. If you want to call it your personal best or your personal record, great. If it keeps you running and keeps you feeling great about running, awesome. But like, I do find it interesting, especially when there's like, some of them are just so egregiously bad. It'll be like run like half a mile, rest for 2 minutes, run half a mile, and then they'll splice it together. And it's just, why? Why not just say I had a good run? I don't know. Vacant Houses says, I find myself wondering what's worse, that I notice and have angst at people who lie, cheat on run apps, or that they are cheating. I mean, that's the dilemma. We all are both. And that's why people like that Twitter account. It is Dunbar. Google Strava wankers. Yeah, find it on Twitter. It's pretty funny. I mean, sometimes it gets a little bit petty, but like there's some jewels in there. Mark Rain says the red-winged blackbirds in Oregon don't seem to chase runners. An Iowa thing. Maybe. I think it's in Illinois as well. And I think Indiana. People from Indiana have mentioned it. People from Wisconsin have mentioned it. So maybe it's like just this region in the Midwest. Yeah. So, Kai Smithley says, the thing about Strava wankers is you can tell if someone is cheating because in most places you can tell if they're on a bike and going on run mode because they just broke their world record mile by a minute. Yeah. I mean, it happened to me one time when I was using Strava to record my activity and using phone GPS, and it gave me 2 3-minute miles in a row. And I was like, I wasn't on a bike. I was running. It's just my GPS tracing got all crazy. And so like I reported it myself to Strava. I was like, I don't know what happened here, but I did not run that. I cannot run 1 3-minute mile, let alone 2 in a row, was the tweet I sent out. But I think other people are doing it where they're setting their watch to auto pause or pausing their watch in the middle of their run. And so I think what happened was at some point in 2020, earlier this year, it went from a free feature from a paid feature to a free feature, I think, or it was just a feature that they started putting in the default metrics that you could see the run time and the total elapsed time. And people didn't know that. Like they didn't tell anyone that they were going to start doing that. And now they have there's a move ratio of how much of your time did you spend moving. And so those are new stats and people didn't realize that. And so they didn't know that people could very easily see that they were lying. And so I think that's where the big unmasking had happened. So, Eric Vensky says there's a whole website dedicated to crow attacks in Vancouver. That's amazing. I'm going to have to look that up once we're done here. All right, let's get to the next question because we're running out of time. Next one, Saucony, the shoe company. Where does that name come from? It does. Yeah, it does mean something. I don't know what language it means, but I'll take one of 2 potential answers for Saucony. Flamin' Marshmallow says, what are the best road running shoes? I mean, I think it depends on the type of road running that you're doing, but for daily training, right now, I like the Triumph 17. I like the Kinvara 11. From New Balance, I like the 1080 V10. I like the Clifton 6. The Rincon is also good, but a little bit of a faster shoe. The Hyperion Tempo, a faster shoe. Not so great at easy paces, but a good shoe. Lots of really great options out there right now. I really enjoyed the Evo Ride on the road as well from Asics, but that is also a shoe that I don't like at slower paces. But those are just a handful of options that are out there. All right. J. Mike Remy says, and I believe him the way he says his comment, you could always see that from the desktop when we're talking about elapsed time versus runtime. He says, and I'm one of those who always notices. That's amazing. That's so funny. Oh, man. Let's see. Nathan N. in terms of the Saucony. Oh, wait, we got the right answer here already. Ted and Ruth says, I'm a bit uncomfortable with Kofuzi mildly swearing. Am I swearing? When was I swearing? When I say wankers? Is that a swear word? Oh. It's not in the U.S. Luis Becerra says, the birds attacking Kofuzi and Mizuno 2 in shorts would be like a cartoon that would sell. Maybe. I don't know if it would sell or not, to be honest. All right. Let's see. The right answer for Saucony is, let's see, where is it? I saw it. Arnold Alanis says a river. Yes, and a river near them. That is correct. It was right above J. Mike Remy's comment about always being able to see people's total elapsed time. Nathan N says something about a river. Matt B says, don't know, but it has to do with the river. Yes, it is from the Saucony Creek in Pennsylvania, which is where the people who started Saucony started the company. Started by 4 men in Kutztown, Pennsylvania, and they made shoes for children at first. But it does mean mouth of a creek or river. And I don't know what language, but that's from the Saucony website. They didn't specify what language that is, but good job, everybody. I always thought that Saucony, because it has that Boston connection, and I always feel like I always thought it would be something more nautical. So I was surprised. I mean, I guess a river is nautical, but I thought it would be more like ocean nautical, because I always feel like the bottom of Saucony shoes. I always feel like the bottom of Saucony shoes look a little bit like lobster claws to me. I don't know, maybe that's just me. This one, not so much. But like, when I look at like the outsole of a Kinvara or like the Freedom, I just feel like it looks like a lobster. I feel like I'm like, if I hold up 2 shoes of them, Sauconys, I just feel like I'm holding up lobster claws. So I just felt like it was something like ocean related. Cody Davis. I said, what does Saucony mean? He says, from a sock goes to the knee. That was a good dad joke. Oh, that's so funny. All right. Yeah, Kai Smithley says, wanker isn't really considered a swear word in the U.S. It's like crap. Yeah, it's not. Is it sweary? Oh. It's a bit sweary in the UK. Oh, I apologize to everyone in the UK about that. I didn't realize that. So, I will. I mean, what should I? I mean, I guess if I'm talking about the Twitter account, I kind of have to talk about it, right? So, all right. Let's see. Cody Davis says, I wonder if Molly Seidel will ever get her Endorphin Pros back from the trials. Does she still not have them back? Because I know that like everyone had to like give their shoes at the end, right? Because they were wanted to test them. But I thought you got them back like right away. Shannon says that J. Mike Remy is the Strava police. Don't you dare think about stopping your watch even to poop. Poop emoji. Yeah. All right. Arnold Alanis says, Seth mentioned the Saucony thing in one of his videos. Oh, that makes sense. Very cool. He beat me to it. He always beats me to it. All right. Mark Chankoko says, I hate the colorway of the Endorphin line. I'm not a huge fan of it myself. I don't like, I like yellow shoes, but this isn't like yellow enough to be considered a yellow shoe. It's very, I don't know. I'm not a fan of the colors either, but, right. Chris Dyke says, I can confirm the crow attacks in Vancouver are real. It's like a gauntlet in certain neighborhoods. That's crazy. My wife and I were trying to explain geese and how geese are like a pretty like cranky bird, and to my daughters, because they have not experienced that with geese before. But we were trying to tell my daughters a story about how like our first apartment together, my wife and I, we lived in like a corporate housing apartment complex, and it had like fake man-made lakes or little ponds and stuff with those like little fountains in the middle, just to make sure it stayed aerated and like it didn't get covered in algae. And geese would stop there as part of their migration, and they were so rowdy. I had a motorcycle at the time, and that was I didn't have a car. And so I would use that to commute to work. And every day I'd have to ride and ride slow by the geese, because they would always come up as I was riding by and then try to snipe at me. They would try to like bite me. And so I would purposefully go real slow as I got near them. And then once they started getting closer, then I would crank on it. So that way, like the change in speed, they couldn't anticipate, because I felt like they were trying to trap me. So like, and anytime my wife got near him, they would all like gang up on her, and they like 3-4 of them, adults, would start cheering and hissing. It was really strange, but That's geese. Birds are weird. Birds are such strange creatures. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Nothing scarier than running past a hissing goose. I mean, I'm sure. I think there could be a lot of scarier things, I guess, but it is intimidating to me. I'm not a big fan of it. Yeah. Martha says, little did I know that when I took a phone call that I had just started a wanker theme for the day. That's funny. All right. Now let's get to the last question for today. All right. Because we're already running a little bit late, 3:45. Oh, because I have two more because I have the fifth question and the bonus. All right. All right. Asics is number 5. What does Asics mean? All right. Cody Davis, birds are just little dinosaurs. I believe that. Is that like commonly accepted now that that's where the dinosaurs went? I remember when I was in college being like, oh, this is like this fringe new theory that like dinosaurs are birds. But I don't know. I think that is pretty common. I mean, it was in one of the Jurassic Parks, wasn't it? Yeah. But J. Mark Remy says, it's really the folks who turn around and claim to have done some heroic run or ride. Then you see they stop for 10 minutes. Anyone could have amazing splits if they rested for 10 minutes in between. Yeah, I mean, that's usually it, right? And that's, I think, the beauty of the perplexity of the Strava wanker, right? And whenever I say it, I always want to say Strava wonker. I don't know why, but Strava wanker. Like that's like the beauty of it, right? Is because like the Strava wanker always brings it upon themselves. Like it's not just like, it's not just like Track Tuesday or like Tempo Tuesday or like Speedwork Thursday. It's like, first PB in 10 years. It's always something like some ridiculous title. It's a look at me title on a look at me post, and it's very clearly fake, so yeah. All right. Yeah. Oh, Lonnie A with the right answer right away. A sound mind in a sound body. Very cool. Yeah, because ASICS is actually an acronym for Anima Sana in Corpore Sano, which means healthy soul in a healthy body, or sound mind in a sound body. Yeah, and I didn't know that it was an acronym, that ASICS was an acronym, which maybe makes sense why everything they have is like an acronym. Because like AHAR, the ASICS high abrasion rubber, which then it really means, AHAR really means, what is that again? Anima Sana and Corpore Sano high abrasion rubber when you see AHAR, because it's ASICS. I don't know. I'm teasing them a little bit on it, but very cool. I don't know how you knew that right away. That was amazing. Yeah, JB Scott had it as well. Very cool. Recycle on Wednesdays. Man, how do you guys know all this stuff? I had to look all this stuff up. You guys knew it like right off the top of your head. Very cool. And then let's see, Martha backing me up on the birds or dinosaurs thing. And well, not backing me up, but also backing up who was it that was saying birds or dinosaurs? I can't. Yeah, Cody. Cody was bringing it up that they are little dinosaurs for sure. Robert Slipper says, feathers or modified scales. Look at a bird legs. Yeah. Kai Smithley had the right answer as well. Mark Chancoco says, loving the Nova Blast, except you were right. It's like a quarter of a size too big. Right. It's a little bit big. And not in like a roomy, oh, this is nice. I just think it's uncomfortably too big. Yeah. Recycle on Wednesday says, it's been a long time since I was in 7th grade Latin. I've forgotten how to spell. Yeah. Chris Dyke says, I heard somewhere crows can remember your face for years, and from that point on, I was on my best behavior. They can, though. I've read that too, or I've become aware of that fact too, that that they are smart and remember people's faces. My sister is raising chickens at her house now. It's something they started doing during the quarantine. And she says that the chickens know her husband, my brother-in-law. And because like when she'll go out there, like they're just like, oh, it's her. But then anytime my brother-in-law goes out, they know that he's the one that feeds them. And so they get all excited, even if it's not like feeding time. And so, I mean, birds, they're cunning. They're smart. The blackbirds, and every time I talk about the blackbirds, I feel like, what's his name? Mr. something. It's with a W in Chicken Run. When he's like, the birds, they're organized. Or the birds, they're revolting. Yes, I couldn't agree more. I just think about that so much. Those red-tipped blackbirds, they are organized. They play zone defense. And I don't know that they remember me or not because I'm going by there every day, but they're still coming after me. And they know that, I mean, I guess they should have seen by now that I'm not a threat, but maybe just the proximity, they're so territorial. They don't want me getting close to there. Cody says, aren't raptors a lot smaller in real life than how they're described in the movies? I'm not sure. I think so. All right. We've been talking a lot about Strava wankers today. And so this bonus question is quite fortuitous. What does Strava mean? It means something in another language related to one of the founders. So what does Strava mean? Robert Sleaford says, crows are clever enough to use tools to enable them to get food. Yeah, that's true. Steve Arnberg says, power tools? Kai Smithley is discerning between crows or ravens because crows aren't that intelligent and ravens can solve problems and stuff. Interesting. Frank Lahulier says, the roadrunners here are Archaeopteryx with beaks. Will Gross says, crows throw funerals for family members that pass away. That's really bizarre. Because then they are mourning. You know, that's like a whole different level of consciousness, I think. Recycle on Wednesday says, I was on a run the other day and a group of crows mobbing a hawk. It was incredible. That is incredible. But I also saw those red-tipped blackbirds that are not that big that I've been telling you guys about, and I've been putting at the end of a lot of the videos. I saw them in a dogfight with a hawk. Two of them were ganging up on chasing away a hawk. I think the hawk got too close to their nest. And they chased it away, and they were like, the hawk was like trying to get away, and then the one kept getting it from like the top on its back, and the other one was coming from beneath and pecking it. I was just like, this is insane. And like, I just finished taking a clip on the GoPro, so I couldn't get it back on again until they were really far out in the distance, and I didn't get the shot. So I was disappointed, but it was an amazing dogfight. Really, I mean, and by that I mean aerial battle. I don't mean that in like a animal fighting and taking pleasure in animal fighting for sport kind of way. All right, I saw the right answer in here somewhere. Let's see. Shannon says, so I thought you guys were all shoe freaks. What's up with all the bird knowledge? There is a crazy amount of bird knowledge in this room. It's crazy. JB Scott had the correct answer for Strava. It means strive. That's right. Correct. Remember, there are no points and no prizes. It's just trivia for trivia's sake. Kai Smithley says Strava is strive in Swedish. And he even had the two, umlaut, the dots on top. Cody Davis says Swedish for strive. That's correct. Ted and Ruth, Strava again, to wander? Oh, that's an interesting take on it. Cool. Patrick Funk said, recently read that scientists now think that the raptors didn't hunt in packs. Oh. They're going to have to, like, that flips the script on Jurassic World. And all the Jurassic Park movies, in fact. But really Jurassic World. I'm a big fan of this. Well, I'm not a big fan of the entire series. I like Jurassic World. I like Jurassic Park 1. 2 and 3 kind of lost me. But anyway. Raptors were 3 feet. Joshua Jerome says, raptors were 3 feet tall and 6 feet long, including the tail. I'm so excited because I literally learned this yesterday. That's so funny. Yeah. Robert Sleaford says, look at all the people who Googled the meaning of Strava. That's funny. Bert Lagasse says, actually, my last name comes from the French Lagati, which means black bird, apparently. Oh, cool. Shannon says, Strava equals running for non-wankers, unless you're in that group. Dalton Moquette says, no idea. I use the Nike running app. Haha, should I switch to Strava? I think the Nike Run Club app pushes to Strava, doesn't it? You can't go from Strava to Nike, but I think you can push from Nike to Strava. So you can have it just appear. You don't have to enter it twice. You can record anything you want. Pretty much anything that records your run data can push data to Strava. That's almost always the case. I don't know of anything that doesn't, except for maybe Fitbit. I think Fitbit doesn't. Although if you use a Fitbit that has tethered GPS to the phone, I think that might. I'm not sure. All right. Well, I think that's a good place to end it for today. Thanks everyone for humoring me again on the trivia. I had a fun time with it. Next week, I think I'll probably do a what does it mean edition again, but we'll get into it further. We'll figure out like the meanings of shoes, like specific shoes, because you guys knew all this stuff already, and I'm super impressed by it. And I'm also very impressed with everyone's knowledge of birds and dinosaurs. Pretty amazing stuff. Learned something every day and had a great time doing it. Thanks so much, everybody. Tomorrow's video is going to be these two shoes going up against each other. I always get the pointing part wrong. We got the Endorphin Pro against the Meta Racer. I got some thoughts on it. Nothing that surprised me too much, but very much more concrete examples that I can talk about in terms of what I think and why. So that should be a fun one for tomorrow. And then we'll also do another live stream. We may even do it from my mother-in-law's house. I'm not sure. We have more than 2 weeks into our kind of quarantine here. And so my mother-in-law is definitely like, when are you bringing the grandkids over? Because she desperately wants to see them, and they desperately want to see her. We want to see her too. So we might be ready for that. My wife is just very cautious about it. She doesn't want to inadvertently, bring anything to her mother-in-law or her mother or father or my in-laws. And so that's what we're concerned about. But it might be from a different town in Iowa. I might not be in a basement anymore. Because there, I think I might get relegated. Not relegated, but I might be up on the second floor. So we'll see. Might be a change of scenery. Might not. We'll see. But stay tuned. In the meantime, hope you guys are staying safe out there on your runs. And I will see you on the next one. Thanks, everybody.